Uh, Hi, it's been a while. If you guys watched the wrap up where Valen flew solo, he explains what happened to us. But
Sort of.
anyway, here we are in January, not doing shit month this year. We're doing something kind of different. Woohoo!
We're doing Life is
Uh,
Shit, so we need a break month.
Yeah.
yeah. So this January we're playing it by ear for the most part. The general theme is that we're gonna finish some shows that we watched and didn't finish before in like other months and stuff. And you'll see what ones come up. But
Yeah.
today we finished the I forgot the full title. Ptolemy Gray.
Last days of Ptolemy Gray, yeah.
Yeah, the last days.
The last days of Ptolemy
It had
Gray.
been
There
like
we go.
several months since we watched this, so I was definitely like, wait, what happened in this show? So
I know, right? It took me a moment to like remember each of the details and everything.
Yeah.
You guys remembered more than I did, but then it's sort of like as I was watching it, stuff kind of came back to me too, so that helped.
I think it helps that like the things at least I remembered were centered around the two characters I like the most, which are just the two main characters, Ptolemy and Robin. So that's probably how I remembered everything.
Yeah. And
I guess it also helps that we stopped in the middle.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. After Ptolemy's wife shoots a man in
Yeah,
a flashback.
because I feel like if we, like, say, started from episode 5, I think we all would have been pretty lost as to what was going on.
That's true.
Yeah. But yeah, so we finished. Okay, here's like my one nitpicky criticism. I feel like the overall like plot as a whole is a little bit messy is not the right word, but like slightly unfocused maybe. Like
I think I understand.
Yeah, I kind of
because
understand.
like I feel like in the very beginning of this, it seemed like the plot was all going to be about how like Reggie was killed. We got to find out who killed Reggie, right? And that did happen, but like it kind of seemed to get like less important.
I kind of in the end I kind of wish that this was just kind of like one of those like slow dramas that just explores what Ptolemy goes through getting his memories back, and that's him and Robin's bond.
And it's good with that. It does that
Yeah,
well. It's just I felt like again that's why I'm nitpicking. This is not like bad, right? In terms of how the plot is done, I'm trying to find this is like the thing I can think of to criticize at all. It's just a little. It's just kind of because I remember like the first half. It's like again they
it's like hammering in kind of the whole thing.
And then it's like from there, then it's like now it's talking about stuff with like with money and like the whole thing with the will and like the other stuff with that, which again it's not done poorly. It's just kind of it's a little bit unfocused in terms of the story, which maybe the fact that this is a 6-episode show, so there's their constraints in terms of both the episode length and also the series length, maybe that kind of plays a part. I'm on purpose trying to find a thing to criticize. So overall, it does stuff very well. And again, the main thing that it does seem to focus on, especially in the second half, is like you said, the connection between the two characters, and that is done very well. So that's the important part.
Yeah, I agree with you on the one. If I was to pick one criticism, it would be that, because I don't remember exactly which episode it was, whether it was 4 or 5. But there's one portion where they just came back from they found the treasure.
I think that was episode 4.
And they were just like figuring out things with the treasure and stuff. And they had just come. Yeah, I think that was episode 4. They came back from like talking to the antique dealer and stuff, which that part actually didn't go anywhere. That part, but the 2 points,
I guess
I think
it was just to
it was to establish that the whole thing that actually he does have access to all of this money.
Yeah, okay. I think that was just to establish that Ptolemy Gray is actually very, very rich.
Yeah. But what was I gonna say? The after that, they go and they're just sitting in his living room and stuff, and they're just talking. And I was like, wait, I haven't really figured out anything about Reggie's thing. And then it's like, someone mentions the fact that Ina's like ex-boyfriend who killed someone came into town. Like they mentioned that in episode 4.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it just kind of comes up like really suddenly, and then it's like, oh, and it's this guy, and it's like, okay, cool.
Yeah,
like, that whole the resolution of the resolution of that story is like, who killed Reggie? Some guy we didn't know about. Okay, like I don't know, it didn't really affect any. Again, the thing is, because of how the plot shifted, it was like that wasn't as important. So
yeah,
it's not.
Like
it's not like again, it's not a big problem. It's just kind of a strange decision.
I think because of how episode 3 ended, I had put in my head that maybe it was Sentia's ex-husband who might have killed Reggie, but then I was like, I don't know why that would make sense, but they did focus a lot on that in the end of episode 3.
He didn't come back.
Yeah, but I guess he's dead.
Yeah. I think it was the gun, I guess, that they wanted you to focus on.
It's not Chekhov's gun, it's Sentia's gun.
Yeah, there you go. But, yeah. But they mentioned it in episode 4, and I guess that was when I realized there was a shift, because normally in like these crime things, if someone mentioned that there was an ex-boyfriend who had previously killed someone, they would have just ran with it.
Right, yeah.
And like went to go find this guy and stuff. But no, and this is episode 4, and there's still episode 5 and 6, of which in episode 6 we finally get back to where it started in the very beginning. But I guess what I was surprised with that is that the episode was only halfway done.
Oh yeah.
And then I was like, wait, what's gonna happen afterward? Is he dead? Because they did the 6 months later thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh look, he's alive. And then it's like, wait, but where is he? And then they show that he's in a sanatorium, and then it goes into the, I guess, second plot, which has to go with the will and stuff. Which, like, I think it was very impactful to see the video and stuff. But I guess the fact that it just got left, like, untied at the end, kind of met the...
Yeah, with the weird niecey.
Yeah, it was kind of just left like that, so then the second plot doesn't really have a resolution per se.
I'm just very upset for Robin.
It's a little bit of a weird place to sort of stop, yeah.
Yeah. And it's kind of like... Yeah. Overall, it's a very good show. Like,
yeah.
That...
Yeah. I think the thing that might have happened is that when they first came up with the concept, they were like, oh, let's make it a murder mystery. But then it ended up just really taking a big shift into like, this is a father-daughter like series. And then they were like, wait, how do we like tie them together? I guess we just have to do part 1 and 2.
I kind of see this also as something where like, again, they had a decently strong, like maybe they had like 2 strong ideas. Right, maybe the murder mystery idea, and like again the connection between the 2 characters idea, and they were like, but then they kind of worked that out and were like, there's only material for like 4 episodes, so what do we do? And then so they like
gotta combine them.
Well, yeah, so kind of combine. Well, yeah, no, I'm thinking they might have probably already had that combined, but it was just sort of even with combining them.
They had to.
They needed to add like a little bit more to just fit in the time, and I think like streaming has actually kind of helped with that a little bit, because like in like when it was like an actual TV episodes, everything had to be like the exact same length all the time, right?
Yeah,
that's true.
So, well, here you don't have to have that situation. I mean, there was one show that actually I watched last year where most episodes are like 20, 25 minutes, and then the final episode is an hour and a half. So, so that happened. But like that granted, this show they were all like 50-ish minutes, but they were not like so. But again, if that's what you're going for, I presume how this works like behind the scenes in terms of like their contract with like the streaming service is sort of like, you're going to produce X many episodes that are X amount of minutes or something.
Oh yeah.
So I presume that's a part of it or whatever. So yeah, again, I don't think it's bad. It's just a little bit. It's a little bit weird.
It's just a little bit strange.
Yeah. So, but yeah, again, the overall core of the movie is done well. It is good.
I just really liked all the stuff with Ptolemy and Robin.
Yeah,
it's really sweet.
Yeah, and I like how both of the characters, like, I mean, this is just said in the movie, or I keep saying movie. This is said in the show where like, the whole thing where like, you know, not everyone is all good or all bad, right? And it's both of them have like, you know, done things that are not that great, right?
Yeah.
Usually for, you could argue, a noble cause, but still, right? Like that's, you know, part of the point of it too, because it's not one of those things where it's like, oh, here's a character that like people think is bad, but actually they're a wonderful, perfect angel, and it's like, well, no, right? It's like they don't go all that far, right? So I think that works.
Yeah.
And I think the resolution to the plot of what happened to Reggie, I think was done well. That was done really well.
It was just really bad.
Yeah.
Ugh. And when they had like that scene where it was like all the ghosts of people who died.
Yeah.
And they were telling like him to go forward and to keep going and stuff and reassuring him, that was a very nice moment too.
And Reggie at the end.
Yeah, Reggie at the end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I actually thought they would have spend more time where he's actually like falling down. Where that was kind of just right there at the end. Which again, I'm not saying that that's a criticism. I'm just saying that's not what I thought was gonna. I thought it would be like maybe a whole episode where he's like, he is actively crashing but still trying to fight through it. And they sort of just had it for that one moment right there at the end, which is fine. It was done well. But I would be kind of curious to see, I don't know, maybe something else take something that's kind of like this, but kind of push it a little bit further. I don't know. Again, it's just personal opinion at that point, but I think it's still done well as it is. So, yeah. But yeah, overall this is good.
I really liked it.
Yeah, because it's good overall for sure. Again, we're nitpicking just so we have something to talk about, I guess. Besides just saying that, besides just saying it's good.
Time. Yeah, we have the paddocks.
You know, all that ad revenue we're totally getting. But yeah, again, it's good. It does its job. It does its job well. The performances are good.
Oh yeah, I really liked the kind of combined flashback nightmare scenes where you see him both as a child and as a grown old man. I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah. So it's like he's confronting things
that
he wishes didn't exactly go as they did.
Yeah.
Like when he saw when he went up and basically saw Coy Dog's
his body.
And
he saved Maud.
Yeah. That was really sad.
Yeah. Yeah, and what was I gonna say? Oh, and also not just in terms of the performances of that, but also like the editing and stuff for that too. It emulated the disorienting nature of, again, like what, you know, Ptolemy's going through mentally. So they conveyed that well, as you know. So that's a good job.
Yeah, I think this show did a really good job with showing what dementia does to the mind and everything.
Yeah.
And it's not just like, oh, yeah, you forget like memories or whatnot. It like goes beyond that. Like
like you forget how to do things or who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I do remember for the first few episodes that we saw how, like, you know, just trying to seeing how he was, you know, before, that was hard to watch.
Yeah.
Especially when that guy was, like, taking money from him and shit like that, right?
Yeah.
Fuck you, Hilly.
Yeah.
Oh, that's another thing. I understand he wanted to leave money for, like,
his family.
Fuck
his family. It's all about Robin.
I get leaving the money for Reggie's kids, at least.
Yeah, just Reggie's kids. Just those two. That's it.
Yeah.
I love the whole thing about, like, you know, literally at the end, I think is it Robin who says it twice, or does he say it once and then Ptolemy says it once? But basically, they're just like, oh yeah, 10 years, like Hilly's probably gonna be in jail, like whatever, like just fucking like, just like all right, damn, okay.
Fuck you, Hilly.
I mean, he apparently stole from multiple people, so
yeah.
Because he also said, because when Ptolemy confronted him, he said like, I won't steal again, and it's just like,
yeah.
So, yeah.
What a bastard.
So yeah, if you want to get a overall well done sort of emotional drama story, mostly with the best part of it also being the focus, being the connection between the characters, then yeah,
yeah,
good thing to check out.
Yes.
I'm glad we finally finished this after so long.
I am too.
It was saved on my list all this time. I could finally delete it.
Yay! Yeah. If we continue this for January, you'll notice that a lot of the other shows are also shows that we're very close to finishing it, but we just didn't have enough time to actually finish it.
Yeah.
Or we're like, yeah, we're not gonna like, you know, it's like, all right, now for this show study, we're gonna finish Detective Conan. It's like, no. So,
the entirety of Detective Conan.
Yeah, we're not doing that. But yeah, so these are gonna be shorter things that we feel like we actually can finish in a reasonable amount of time. So
yes.
But again, we're because our schedules are a little bit up in the air right now. We don't want to like definitively say next week we are doing this. So we'll kind of see as we get to it again. Hopefully, we'll have something every week, but we'll see. We don't know yet.
Yeah.
So that's the plan.
We'll go with vibes.
Yeah.
So tune in next time, hopefully next Sunday, for another show that we started and will now finish. Hopefully.
Yes.
Yes.
Yay. Bye.
Bye-bye.